Hello, beautiful ones. Welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. I hope everybody is doing as well as can be expected today with everything that's going on in the world right now, holding love and support for everyone that's out there on the front lines and doing what they can for Black Lives Matter. It's very important that we stand with our brothers and sisters at this time. I want to thank you for being here. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so incredibly much for being here and being an advocate for change. And for those of you who have just stepped onto this platform, this reading, welcome, absolutely welcome. And I hope we get you some beautiful messages that resonate with you today. So I thought that I am intending to get this out to you on the actual day, but it is being filmed on the full moon today, which is in Sagittarius, I believe, and we also have a partial eclipse today. So that's an intense time. I believe the eclipse is in Aries. And if I'm a little bit off on those, then I'm terribly sorry, but that's what I believe. And so this is a very, very, very intense time for some, for most of us, actually, obviously in the world, but on a personal and a collective level. It's a time of ascension. It's also a time of chaos as we look into the darkness and see what needs to be done and take ultimate responsibility for what needs to be done. It's a sense of power and a sense of pride of doing what needs to be done. And on a collective and a personal level. But for those of you who are actually ascending or going through your sort of transformation, today is an intense portal. So it probably started a couple days ago. You can have ascension symptoms like nausea or a dizziness. A lot of old stuff could be coming up to be released. It's about accountability. All of that old stuff is certainly going to come up for you to release. It's not something that you need to necessarily work on per se, but it's definitely something that will be highlighted so you can move through it. So I thought what we would do today is check in with the spirit realm and messages from the spirit realm. Now, this can mean a couple of different things because the portal is open and people are going through several different things or different layers to this, and everybody's on their own journey. This can mean a few different things. So for the spirit realm, we are going to be checking in. That could be your ancestors or past loved ones that you actually know and knew in this lifetime that have passed on. Ancestors in your bloodline that you never met but are showing up in support for you. The spirit realm too, as it pertains to this reading today, will be also other timelines, other planes of existence. As always, we're grounded in practical advice, what resonates with you right now. We're only looking for messages of love and light and really to cast light on the unknown, the hidden, what you need to know to transcend even further on this journey of transformation. That's really what we're looking for. So I'm working with this new deck that I just got. I'm going to put the details below. There was a great suggestion recently. I know I haven't done this before with all the decks that I use, listing them down below, but I'm going to start doing that. Thank you for that suggestion. But this new tarot that I'm working with is Ghosts and Spirits Tarot. So it's rather haunting, but really, really beautiful. So I thought we would work extensively with this tarot first. And then with the Earth Magic, we'll get some oracle cards, and then we'll finish off with the Starseeds oracle cards. Messages for you. So that's what I thought we would do. So as always, we have 3 piles. The first pile is this little fairy. Again, we're working with spirits in other realms, but we're also going to be working of other planes of existence. So again, that could be your past lives coming back to you, different versions of yourself coming back to you. We will find out at the very beginning who is speaking what the message is. So it'll become clear as we go forward. And then, of course, I had to have this warrior lady, particularly as she reminds me of Sagittarius, and with the full moon in Sag, we had to go with this. So that's pile 2. And then who doesn't want some dragon energy with everything that's going on in the collective right now? It seemed perfectly reasonable that we would go for some dragon energy. So as always, in order for these messages to resonate, it's always good to just take a breath and really just clear your mind and just allow a few moments. If you need to go ahead and pause the video, as always, the timestamps will be down below. As always, always, pick the pile that resonates with you. If one doesn't resonate, come back. If you want to pick more than one, whatever you need to do, there's no wrong or right way to do this. It's all about your intuition and listening to your own soul. So yeah, we're just going to take a deep breath, and we're also going to put a bubble of light around us as we're doing sort of a more medium session today rather than a channeling session, a little bit of both. And we will see what messages come for you, or to you, I should say, not coming for you. That sounds ominous, and that's not what we want. So coming to you from the spirit realm. So let's go ahead and move pile 2 and pile 3 for now. So for those of you who chose pile 1 and this beautiful little fairy here, this ethereal fairy, sort of air energy there, you may be an air sign or just sort of an elemental type person. Again, we are looking for messages from the spirit realm. So as we work with our beautiful tarot here, gotta remind myself, Ghosts and Spirit Tarot, we will be asking, our first question will be, let's see, I've got this all written here. Who is coming to you today with messages, and what is their message? So let's be really specific here about who it is. So we've got chains, okay, 15 here, and then we've got the Empress. So, chains, I believe that's the Devil card. Page of Cups. Okay, so let's just see what we've got here. I want you to see these beautiful Page of Cups. So, let's see what we have here. Empress. So, what I'm getting here, the messages here for pile 1, is that the person that's coming through for you is you. It's a mirror reflection of you from a different existence, a different plane of existence. Sounds a little woo-woo, but bear with me. We're going to get you some proper messages. So it's sort of a mirror existence, like if you're looking through a mirror and you see something back. That's what I'm getting. So it's not exactly 3D versus 5D. There's a little bit of confusion here about who it is or who it is that you feel that you want to be and how to get there. And this version of yourself is coming in to clarify. So the first thing I'm getting is that there's the chains here. Now, I want you to look at this. It looks a little ominous at first, but we have the guides here. We have these orbs here of knowledge that are coming up, and we have these sort of spheres of knowledge, and then we have these sort of wands of light coming up here. So the message that's coming in for you, pile 1, very clearly is what you were told shackled you, and now that you're moving it all away. So I just read something on social media today that I thought was quite brilliant. It's always very simple in terminology, but it's always those things that blow your mind. It's as women, and we're talking about the divine feminine particularly, but for now let's just call it women. We are told so many different opposing things of how to be and how to think and how to be productive and what to do, that it's very, very, very confusing. And, to opt out of all of that and decide that you're going to be mysterious and have strength are the two things that we can really come together, and the rest of it sort of, pardon my French, be damned. This is your message, and it's so funny. Synchronicities are just happening all around today. I literally just read that. I checked in with social media just before I came on to film this. I literally, 30 seconds before, I even saved it because I thought it was brilliant. Sort of, again, a sort of a mind-blowing kind of aspect, but again, so simple. But It's funny that this Page of Cups and the Empress, which is a version of you, again coming in from a different timeline coming in. So the spirit realm is showing you, and the shackles are really being taken off. And the way in which they need to be taken off is with pleasure, with this understanding of rising in the strength of who you are. And it's okay to say that, I feel as though a lot of the way in which you think, or a lot of way in which you sort of approach things, has been sort of inherited to some degree. And it's now time to be, when those old thought patterns come in, when you start thinking something, you just chuck them out. It doesn't work for you anymore. So some practical ways of literally sort of, and it's this idea of growth is kind of bullshit in a way. We're not, all we're doing is getting rid of the old so we can see what's left, and what's left is always being of light. So if there's any resistance there, you're being asked to step into the responsibility to find out the thread of where it came from. But this Page of Cups here is this beautiful sort of emotionality with the empath, and being able to really step into your empathic ways instead of being overwhelmed by it because you're somehow in the old version of you shackled by this limited mindset of something that you inherited. Some of it's sociological, some of it is just ego, but it's the ego that is attached to past lives, and some of it's out of protection, because the protection on the second layer, you needed to be protected because you were taught that you could only be a certain way, or to expect a certain amount in this lifetime. You're being asked to shed completely all of that. And for those of you who are sort of transcending the 3D, going into the 5D, but also in different planes of existence, like the way in which we are working now with the ascension process is that it's much easier to move into different planes of existence, which is why I chose to do this particular message, which is why I this particular reading today, because we can move quite easily between different modes of existence and different planes of existence now more than ever because of the portals. So for those of you who are shifting into that and moving into that, and are a little bit nervous about moving into that, you don't need to be nervous about it at all. It is brand new territory, and shedding the old completely. I mean, we're doing this on a collective level right now. We are shedding the old big time. We are literally tearing it down. These chains are in and around this person, but they can be taken off, and they will be. And again, the orbs of light are standing here, and this person is using their voice to get it out. So the old crap, getting it out, and it's ugly and it's old and it doesn't serve us or humanity anymore. It was a way in which we were told to be, and none of it really worked, because it worked against our psyche, because we were told one thing, but if you move this way you can expect this, and we were told so many different versions of a sort of an elitist attitude that was projected upon us. But then we were set into this world where we couldn't expect to really achieve it. So we have to shed all of it. And as we collectively tear everything down, it's really important to do that within yourself. Now, this is not necessarily an easy process. With all the work that you've done, pile one, this can feel as though things are collapsing within. But you have that strength, and you have the Empress coming in here. Now, again, this is you and this is you straddling from the 3D, because you're an empath, so you're picking up on the 3D. But you've moved into the 5D. So this is you on the 5D here. But on the sort of the earthly plane, which of course, no matter how you identify, if you're a starseed or a light work, if you're a bearer of light, we still have to learn how to be human. But this is you coming in from the reflection of this beautiful mirror here. And you've got the Page of Cups coming in with this new version of reality, this new version. You've got the dolphin here. So we have Atlantis. We have this ancient, beautiful spirituality that comes in with it, that's encoded within your DNA without a shadow of a doubt. You have this emotionality and a way in which you can use your empathic skills to the next level. For those of you, Pile 1, who have been overwhelmed with the empathic skills, you are light bearers and you hold the light code. So you are here to ground everything in to the world right now and stand for who you are, not just justice, but for everything and everyone on this earth. Justice is just a small part of it, but right now we're all standing for justice and pulling down what no longer serves the collective. You are definitely part of this, but you're also part of the emotionality of bringing in the strength of emotionality, bringing in the strength of the empath, where you're no longer emotionally overwhelmed at this, but you can use the alchemist in you to go ahead and really transform this energy from base fear up into this process of light, which is really, really, really beautiful. And you can hold that gravity, you can hold that level, that frequency for others as they do the groundwork. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do the groundwork too. You can. This is part of what you're doing. But for those of you, you can actually support people on the front lines doing this. This is your time. There's another really great quote that I saw, and I'm paraphrasing this, and I'm not going to do it quite justice. But for those of you who were descendants of the witches that were burned, a little fire shouldn't freak you out. This is your time. This is absolutely your time, Pile 1, to step into the empathic version of self, transform that energy, transform that fire. We have to burn everything down in order to rise from the ashes like the phoenix. This is part of this generation. You're here to oversee it. And this is you stepping in to that version of the empath. So you're moving from the empath into the alchemist. So this is you, the Empress, standing over and holding sort of the gates open while everybody moves through. I just got this beautiful vision of you holding open the gates while everybody floods through and really works with the collective and pulls down what isn't working for everybody. It's necessary work. It may seem like darkness and chaos right now, but the light will proceed. It absolutely will. And we should stand with people who are doing the groundwork, doing all of that. But this is important work, and this is important work for everybody and the collective. And you are here to do that. You know, not just for this generation, for the next generation. It's very, very important work. So for all the healing that you've been doing, your, I wouldn't say new self, but your not even higher self. It's a version of self that you're already one step you're so close to it, just pulling it back into existence here, where you stand again from the empath into the alchemist and you hold space. Now, I know this can be gritty work as you're holding open that gate. It may feel like not a burden necessarily, but it can feel hard. It can feel like things closing in a little bit. And I totally understand how that's working, but you have so much light behind you. You have so much strength behind you. Remember what we were talking about at the beginning. Stand by that mystery, stand by that strength, by the message that you're getting here very, very strongly. All of the elemental energy is behind you. Your angels are behind you. Everyone is behind you. It's very important to remember that you're not doing this on your own, and it's time to step into the next version of yourself, which is brand new to you, although you've seen trace elements of it coming in. And the chains here, these shackles, you are literally going to be able to shed them in such an extreme way for good by reaching out into humanity and using your voice. Scream it out, get it out, stand for who you are, and bring in that sense of redemption that you have been urging for yourself. So let's see now for some clarification with the earth magic what we have here too. So these are beautiful cards for you. The Page of Cups. You are stepping into this brand new power. Now, it's a version of the old power that you had before in past lives. So it's, again, and this energy and wisdom that you've brought in from the Atlantis period, and some of that energy will be infused into this lifetime. So it's not something that's brand new to you, but as you hold this energy, it may seem a little overwhelming because it's beautiful energy, but it's really, really intense. And if you compare it to the chaos that's going on right now, it may seem like the polarity of light and dark. I urge you to step away from the idea of polarity, put that with the chains, and release that also. If you release into the next stage of yourself, into the alchemical stage, then you will move from the empath stage and be able to really step into this emotionality and this empath stage that you have, that you've honed in on, and that's really powerful. And when you actually use it with fusing it with the alchemist part of you, there's immense power there, immense power to hold the light in a way that you've never seen before. Now, let's not forget, these messages are coming from you. This version of you already exists and has reached out to you to pull you in completely into the next timeline. So you can reach out, and this timeline has been reaching out to you, like it's been folding over, almost sort of like folding over in time. Some people like a difference in vision for the empath stage going into the alchemist stage. You may be seeing traces. Lights are brighter, more sensitive to light, and colors are brighter. Some of you may even be hearing sort of voices or really succinct messages when you meditate. You always know if that's coming from the light, if your heart and your intuition tells you so. It's also important for you to realize that you are a being of light. And for those of you who have come through the sort of whirlwind of healing and have attracted darkness and have had to really sort of battle with darkness one way or another, you are assured that that is in your past. So, for those of you who are a little bit afraid of your power because it might attract the darkness, whether it attracts it or not anymore, you're beyond it. It can't hurt you. You have definitely fairy energy that's coming in now, and leprechaun energy too, which is really funny because I don't really see that energy coming in, but you have this elemental light that's coming in. So you have the spirit realm, you have the plane of existence, that's you, and then you have sort of leprechaun energy, which is pure magic. Now, that energy can specifically help you from the empath, moving into the structure of empath, and like sort of holding it all together as you learn to really utilize the empathic stage of who you are, and then releasing into this alchemist stage where it's all about surrender, and the beauty of it, and the sort of magic that you're about to inherit too, and the ancient wisdom that's going to be coming in for you too. A lot of you are earth angels coming into that energy. Remember, we have the dolphin here. I don't know if you can see it, but we have the dolphin here. Those of you who are connected to the water and dolphin too, that's also Larian energy too. We have Palladian energy coming in. You have all sorts of elemental and starseed energy that's not only standing behind you, but the word I'm getting is promoting you. They're promoting you to move forward in the way that you are ready to bring in that light and beam it forward. So let's see what we have here. Wake up call, tsunami. Okay, well, I feel as though you already know that. That's coming in. Let's do another one. New beginnings, dawn. Okay, well, we couldn't have asked for anything better, really. This might seem like a wake-up call because you're stepping into this portal, which has been fairly recent here. All of the portals, we've had the 444 portal here, or the 44 portal. We've had a couple portals, but the eclipses that are coming in, we have 2 this month. are also a major portal for you. So all of the ascension that you've been going through recently, this could be seeming even more sort of inclusive and a little bit overwhelming and also very exciting. I urge you to look at the fear that you have, the nervousness, and see it more as excitement. Again, as we reiterate and redefine the version of ourselves based on our higher self and not on the old version of ourselves. Pretty much everything in the old version of ourselves can be thrown out. You are operating from a very different version where you know nothing that's or has been familiar is working for you anymore at all. So these orbs of light and these orbs of knowledge are coming back in, and you're not alone. And the elementals are working with you. But this wake-up call may feel like a tsunami because there's so much coming in. And again, with the emotionality, we have the empath, the calls of the empath here. You know, where you were, okay, you know, the empath energy is coming in thick and strong. You already knew that you were very, very sensitive and very empathic. And then on top of that, you have this new version of reality where you're being asked to step into the alchemist role now of pure transformation. And I want to remind you, this is what you are supposed to do. You were an alchemist in many different realms at many different times in past lives. And part of those past lives are infused with this version and plane of reality that's come in to tell you that you already exist. And it's just sort of holding space for you while you move into that. For those of you who are nervous that nothing will ever be the same again, I assure you that is true. Nothing will ever be the same again. You've healed incrementally all the way through your life, but this is a brand new portal now that's just happened where your wake-up call, when you step through that portal, honestly, nothing will be the same again. So it sounds a little intense, but you can do this because your new beginning is there and you have been training for this. You are, I mean, some of you might even be Scorpios or have Scorpio somewhat dominant in your chart because you have a strength of the phoenix rising, coming up from the ashes. The ashes are here and you are rising. This is a beautiful time. I know it seems chaotic, and again, we needed to go through this time. We need this to come out, all of this energy to come out so we can help it release and then help everybody to move toward I don't want to say a new earth because people keep using that. It's been used in a wrong way. Not a new earth, but a new version of humanity where we actually stand for humanity on a collective level. That's why you're here. Not an incremental level where it's humanity when it's convenient. It's humanity 24/7, you know, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, where nobody and nothing gets left out, or nobody gets left out of that version of humanity. And that's what you're holding the light for. You're holding the gates open for. So this is the star seeds here. This is really beautiful. I really want you to concentrate on these two cards too. And they're just the ethereal energy of them is coming into your waking life, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the sort of elemental energy that's always been around you is being fused with your human spirit. So it's, you know, I even have Tinkerbell here. What you will be able to do with the process of your mind once these, and again, this is really easy, to unshackle yourself. They are, you know, they're being held down by orbs of knowledge. So all you have to do is to release, use your voice and use your sort of signifying and beautiful traits, again, to move from the empathic version of self to the alchemist version of self. They will meld together and take you to a new dimension. And once you're in that dimension, you'll be able to freely move beyond and move into different dimensions. You'll actually be able to meet this version of yourself, probably in meditation, if you want to go ahead and do that as an experiment and get more specific messages. These are always general messages. We try to get you as many messages that resonate in this time. But of course, these are general messages for general readings for you. And so we're going to end here with messages from the Starseed deck. I really love these. So let's just see what we have here. So, and I think it's perfect working with the ethereal level and different planes of existence and our star systems here. So let's go ahead and what do we have here? Transcendence. Transcend your mind's limitations and allow your soul's light to truly shine. Well, okay. Well, nothing said there, really. I think we've said it all. Yeah, I mean, part of this transcendence and part of this, let's put that up there, part of this too is the old, is transcending the limitations of the mind too, that protective barrier that says, you know, let's be fearful of the unknown. That's not the time for that. You know, your heart is telling you that you have been waiting for this. You've been leading up to this your entire life, and actually many lifetimes too. Earth Guide, your sacred calling upon this planet is to simply love and be loved. Absolutely. Holding those gates open for a specific version of love too, in the sense of in the sense of humanity, and love and light, and this is what you're doing. But the wisdom that you're bringing in from these past lives, and from the I keep getting Lyrian too, for most of you, and Palladian sort of second, but also the starseed system. You're bringing in Atlantis energy. You're also bringing in other realms. Some of you are earth angels also, so you're working very strongly with Archangel Michael. And I am getting also Archangel Raphael and Archangel Ariel. These specific angels that you can work with to help you move forward, into this new version of I would say into a brand new version of healing, that will bring you to the person that you are absolutely going to move into, that already exists, on a plane that you've already visited. So, excuse me, you're already very aware that this version of you absolutely exists. So yeah, so let's see. All right, so you've got your wake-up call, you've got your new beginnings. And again, the dawn, let's remind ourselves, this new beginning will be like no other. There's always, as we've said, incremental healing. This new beginning will bring in a new sense of how you react, who you are, the energy that you put out there, which means that the manifestation process, your abundance, the power that you will be using, obviously, for good, for light, for beauty, for love, will be unquestionable. And it will not be able to be projected upon. It will not be able to be silenced. So this is already your version of who you are, the Empress and the Page of Cups. And again, we have the Divine Feminine coming in thick and strong here with this understanding of strength and mystery. You don't have to have all of the answers. If your practical mind tells you you need all of the answers before you transcend, remind yourself that you are shedding all of the old versions of safety before you move forward. You absolutely know that you can do this. It's safe to do this. If you feel a little bit nervous, change that nervousness into excitement. Yes, it's a huge step, and yes, it might feel a little overwhelming as the shackles are moved away, but these are deep-seated understandings, but it's also layered with the responsibility of coming in to whom you are and was always meant, and whoever you were always meant to be in this lifetime. Remember, this is your path. So I hope this sheds some light on what it is in your journey, and no matter where you are at that journey, whether you've just had that transformation coming in and this is just solidifying so you don't think that you're going crazy, or whether that you're in the tsunami stage, which I totally understand. You know, people often predict sort of this idea, or really put out this idea of, you know, moving forward and becoming who you are in this sort of woo-woo way, and, you know, be who you are. And, you know, it's very messy, and sometimes it's frightening. And You know, I totally understand that you need support at this time. It can feel like a tsunami, and that's okay if it feels overwhelming. No one's saying, you know, that you have to get it right away. It's just a matter of training your mind outside of the limitations that we were given and moving into this new understanding of who you are. So remind yourself of the Empress and the Page of Cups, moving up that ladder, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, and you have all of the help that you need from all levels of existence, including the plane that's come in today to give you these beautiful messages. So much love and light to you, Pile 1. If this resonated with you, please do give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. Would love to have your energy near. And of course, leave me a comment below. I always love hearing from you guys. Until we meet again, Pile 1, stay safe and sane. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, Pile 2, if you picked our Sagittarius warrior here, this beautiful lady of, I would say, manifesting into the divine feminine, the strength, this warriorship, and then, you know, cultivating the warriorship so we no longer need to be a warrior. We can transcend it. We can be whatever we want. We can be light. We can be dark. We can be a mixture of both, whatever it is. This is your reading here. And again, we are looking for messages from the spirit realm. And for the first 3 messages here, we're going to find out who is coming in touch with you, or where these messages are coming from and what the messages are. And again, I want to remind you that I am using the Ghosts and Spirit Tarot. We linked down below if you're interested in checking out these tarots, because they're absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles here. Hopefully you can see these, absolutely beautiful. Okay, we have the 7 of Cups here. And we have the 4 of Cups here. So for what I'm getting for you is I'm getting ancestor energy coming in. So for some of you, these are general readings. So I'm just going to give you all of the information that I get. For some of you, I'm getting grandfather energy. Or divine masculine energy that's come in, that's helping in this lifetime, sort of dismantling what was done before to the divine feminine. And they have done a lot of work themselves after passing over, and you've been connected through your bloodline here. It's a very powerful entity that's coming in from your bloodline. Now, you may not have known this person, but they did exist on this earthy realm of sorts. And what they're doing is that they're bringing in they're holding space for you to stand in your power. They are very, very powerful, and they're standing in a very specific way. They're standing in the divine masculine to hold space for the divine feminine. And while you you see the 4 of Cups here is versions of you coming into existence in this particular lifetime and trying to hold space for, and there's a little bit of a transcendence energy. There's a little bit of the same sort of energy in Pile 2, but a little bit different. We said in Pile 1, I'm going to reiterate because it does correlate here. This idea, especially for females or the divine feminine, we've had so many contradictory versions of events of who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to get there. And this, again, I don't want to take out that this is not a gender thing. Everybody's had this sort of in Western society, or under the sort of patriarchy, or the version of events, the version of power that we've been under for thousands of years. When we were born into this existence, there were certain understandings of who we were projected upon us. And now and they shackled us in this lifetime, and they were opposing in many different forms. So it was very confusing to know how to step into our power, and how to do this, and how to explain ourselves, and and how to move forward. And it culminated in a lot of us sort of moving sideways, and 5 steps forward and 3 steps backwards, and constantly not moving forward in a dramatic way that we wanted to. But now, whoever's coming in for you is somebody who's coming in, and I feel as though they've been working with you in your dreams. They're extremely powerful, and what they're doing is they're holding space for who you are. And again, what we were saying is that now that we're getting rid of those projections, and the version of this limited version of how we should move, and what we should think of each other, and what we should think of ourselves, and we're standing in the strength and this idea of mystery. We no longer need to explain ourselves or move in the direction that was expected of us before. And if there's any confusion and you're going back to who you were, like, going down that rabbit hole of thinking X, Y, and Z, if I do this, it will lead to that. You can just throw out all of that, because it gave us confusion. And it compromised our soul in many ways. And it taught us in many ways to not expect to reach and to gain what we deserve. And on many levels, what it did too, it also taught us that everything that we were going to be able to achieve in this lifetime was going to be very, very, very difficult, very difficult. And of course it was, but we're moving out of this, we're collapsing the society, moving out of this idea, because we were moving and trying to achieve on a societal level that did not put us first. Didn't put any of us first. And we're standing with our brothers and sisters here, especially of color, definitely didn't put them first. And so we're standing there and putting them on a platform, because that's the way that we can move forward, by standing with each other. And this is something that we all need to acknowledge, is that the system was set up against us. We were never, ever, ever going to survive through it. So this beautiful energy that's coming in has acknowledged that, and may have been part of that patriarchy beforehand, but they're actually coming in a brand new way and saying, let it all go, let it burn to the ground, come out from the ashes. So there's a little bit of an extra sentiment here that works very well with pile 1. You might want to go back and look at pile 1, but it's not necessary. So here it's a very different version of yourself. But the version that's here is that all of the hidden beauty is coming up to the surface here. So this entity, this version of, now this is an ancestor, but this is specifically in your bloodline. What they're doing, not only are they holding space for you to move on your own terms, but they're bringing back the beauty that was hidden from you before, of the divine feminine. The divine feminine is rising up, but they used to be here. Divine feminine absolutely was in the world and integrated, and it's on the earthly realm. They're bringing back the hidden strength of the earthly version of the divine feminine before it was sacrificed for others to move forward. So they're bringing back the sacred energy, but they're bringing it back from the other side of the version that you've never seen in this lifetime, if that makes sense. Let me try and break it down. So they're bringing it back from the version, or from the projections of the masculine. So this is very powerful energy here. It's almost like jigsaw puzzles, pieces of the jigsaw puzzle coming together and moving forward. So it's about here, and the 7 of Cups here too. As you move forward and you feel as though you're moving into this new transformation. A lot of people are going through this transformation, and when this is being filmed, we have a portal going on too, as we have this intense full moon, and we also have an eclipse as we speak, as this reading is commencing. So there's a little bit of confusion. There's a little bit of this opening up to this portal, a little bit of this sort of overwhelming feeling, this feeling of being on the edge. And this entity, this beautiful entity that's coming in, is bringing in the old and supplementing it with the understanding, the codes of the divine feminine that you already hold. But they're bringing back and integrating the past in a profound way, not bringing it back. They're not coming in with their own version of it. We've already seen that. We've seen 2,000 years of it. We've seen what what degradation it's done and what violence it's done. It's now crumbling. They're not coming in with that version of it anymore. They're coming in with the hidden version of it. They're coming in with the power that they took before, and they're infusing it with the power that already lies within you as you rise up. So for those of you who know just beyond this portal, there's this new energy, this new version of you waiting, but you feel as though you're on the edge of the cliff and you're like, what the hell? How do I do this? I'm feeling really overwhelmed. This is lean into your ancestor energy right now. They really are here. You've cleared a lot of your bloodline. They're coming in to say thank you. And this is a way that they can do it. All of the ancient wisdom that was killed off, all of the ancient wisdom that was shut down, they're bringing in a brand new light, and they're giving it back to you, giving it back and integrating it into your codes. You already have them, but it's almost like they're igniting them. So lean back into your ancestors here. Now, this is particularly from the masculine that's risen from the masculine to the divine masculine. But we also have a lot of ancestor energy here, and some of your ancestors had mad magic, and they're bringing that into who you are too, so you can infuse and really move from the shackles of the old into the new. Again, this really does mirror, even though the energy coming in was slightly different, this really does mirror the first pile here, pile 1. So here, let's get some clarity and some more messages for you. We are working with the earth magic cards here. This is very, very powerful for your ancestors. You're definitely not alone. These ancestors maybe are relatively new to you, the energy of them, because they have been recently healed from your bloodline. All the work that you've been doing, you may have been concentrating on the female aspect of your bloodline, maybe not consciously, but that's what you've been working on. And for those of you who have been working on it consciously, that's absolutely wonderful too, and beautiful work. But this is the masculine bloodline that's also been healed from that work, stepping up and doing what they needed to do. What should have been done thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago, they're doing it now. And they're saying better late than never. But the power that they bring, the knowledge that they bring, that originally they stole, but still it doesn't matter at this point, because they're here and they've transcended, and they can help you in ways to move past this understanding of what you're standing upon. Again, the warrior in you, the version of the warriorship you've had in many lifetimes before. So let's see what we have here. Wind activation. Yeah, you've been looking for I feel as though a lot of you have been in this sort of void. Now, I want to be really clear about how I use the word void. It can seem really overwhelming sometimes, but the void can represent the brand new beginning, the womb. But you've had very, very intense and beautiful healing experience and the guides, but some of your guides now maybe moving into, you might be shifting guides, and you feel as though the new guides haven't really cemented yet, so you may be feeling a little overwhelmed. But I'm glad you clicked on this reading, pile 2, because this is absolutely letting you know that your ancestors are there. These are your new guides now. Yes, that is their promise. New moon. Absolutely, that is their promise. They are absolutely there for you. We have the divine masculine feminine. I couldn't have picked a better card for you. And we even have the moon in this. We'll say that this is the eclipse for now. But of course, this is the new moon. We're actually in the full moon right now, but this is the new moon promise, the new moon of the beginning, the promise to be there, the masculine and feminine holding space, knowing that we can't possibly do this now without the direct guidance of the masculine and feminine fusing in a brand new way. This is what you have been leading up to also, the masculine and feminine fusing. It's absolutely gorgeous. You have everything that you need to move forward here. Your new guides are coming in. It's not just your ancestors coming up. And it's really funny because, I don't know if funny is the right word, but it's really interesting to watch this really succinct vision of the divine male. It's really heartwarming. The divine male moving from masculine to the divine masculine, holding space for you as the divine feminine in your bloodline are behind, but holding space for the divine masculine. This is a brand new version of what will come into this lifetime and what you will hold space for. So that's your specific journey, which again, keep going on about this. It is slightly different to pile one. But again, pile one might give you an extra layer to your journey. So again, please feel free to go back into pile one and see if there's any extra messages that resonate with you. More energy, more messages that resonate, the better, right? So, and here we have free spirit. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. So this is you moving in again, the new moon, the promise of something or someone completely different that you're moving from. And the idea, again, you who you're working with and the energy that you're working with right now is moving. It's completely different. And it's sort of transcendent. It's moving sort of at the speed of light. And I feel as though for some of you who are feeling a little nauseated with there are ascension symptoms like a little bit of dizziness and nauseous, being nauseous, nauseated. There's a very specific reason too, because there's a speed of light happening too. There's an activation. There's a part of the activation that's a speed of light, which is why your wind came up. Now it might be, a little bit of breathlessness, but also it's like it can make you a little nauseous, like if you're the sort of person that gets nauseous after being, in a car too long or riding in an airplane or that sort of thing. It's like you are transcending planes. You are moving forward, not literally an airplane, but like plane to plane. So it's not even moving from 5D, 4D to any kind of D anymore. You're moving from plane to plane, which again sort of existed a little bit on the first pile one, which I'm not surprised about because I think all of these messages to a certain degree are going to overlap. But that could be why a physical symptom, you're moving from plane to plane to plane. And your soul is, and your spirit is freed up to do that. So that could be like, oh my God, I feel dizzy right now. That could be why. Blue star, follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to truth and resides within your soul. So the other thing that I want to say for your last message, and just to be clear, this is the Star Seeds deck here, Oracle deck, is that the way in which everybody else is working right now may not work for you. It's really important to listen to your own intuition. You have a very specific path going on. So for those of you who are sitting there going, I'm not doing enough, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Really listen to your intuition, really sit with those because your light codes have been activated. Your DNA is shifting. You're working with new guides. There's a lot that's going on right now. And the way in which you work may be behind the scenes and come out larger at the end. Keep getting this vision of sort of fireworks versus moving sort of incrementally and being a front runner like other people are doing. Everybody has their role. It's really important to take a role, and you are. So for those of you, and again, this is a general reading, but for those of you who are sitting there going, I know things are going on with me, but I really feel like I should be doing X, Y, and Z. Please sit with yourself. Please sit with your intuition. It's really heightened right now, and it will absolutely take you to your next step. You're a free spirit. You will not be moving in the direction that other people move in. Obviously, take responsibility for your own energy, which you will be doing. Obviously, hold space for other people. But don't compare your path right now. It's really important that you don't compare your path because it's not going to do you any justice. It's not going to allow you to fly into that free new blue star energy and spirit that you have right now, which will absolutely, like I said, everybody's kind of starting off at the same sort of start line, and some people are sprinting this way, some people are sprinting that way. You will finish on time, I promise you. Sorry to be really blatant about you know, the sort of race right now. I'm not comparing life to a race. That's not what I'm saying, but that's the vision that I got. But the way in which you end, you will do your part. You're just going to do it differently. You've always beat to your own drummer, absolutely. But there's a part of you that beat yourself up for not conforming. There's a part of you that beats yourself up for not being where other people are. You do compare yourself, or you have in the past. This is definitely not the time to do that. Again, you are transcending into new versions of self, new guides, new ways of being, new planes of existence. This portal that you're stepping through is a brand new promise and a brand new sort of section, or moving into a brand new sort of version of self that never existed before. So it's just, you have to give yourself a little bit of space in order for all of this to meld together, so it makes sense. If you go out a little bit forward before you're ready, you could be a little bit shaky. Now, you'll still be very powerful in what you do, and that's fine, but you can overwhelm yourself a little bit. That's not to say that you're not doing anything, but take it easy for now and do things on your own terms. But what it is that you will end up doing will be globally sort of recognized, will be out there in a absolutely massive way. So trust yourself, trust everything that you're doing, and trust your intuition. So, okay, pile 2, that's a beautiful journey that you're on, and your ancestors came through. Absolutely. That's just a gorgeous message there. So if this resonated with you, do feel free to give me a thumbs up. Absolutely subscribe if you feel as though this is energy that you would like in your life for some clarity and support. And do let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. I always do. Sending so much love and light to you. Please stay safe and sane. Pile 2, and until we meet again, bye-bye. Okay, pile 3, if you chose this beautiful dragon energy, which is fierce, beautiful, sort of ancient energy coming in, you know, phoenix from the ashes to burning down the old, rising in the new, then this is you, pile 3. So I can already feel your power, which is absolutely great. So we are looking for messages from the spirit realm. We also I do want to reiterate that we are working with the Ghosts and Spirit Tarot, which is absolutely beautiful. I will link the details below if you want to check it out yourself. And for the first 3 tarot cards here, we are again looking for who is working with you from the spirit realm and their specific message to you. So we've got 3 of Wands. So we've got the Creator here coming in. That's absolutely beautiful. And then we have the Sun energy. I love that. And we have the 9 of Cups. We have that. That's one of my favorite cards. You know, let's just break this down a little bit. So there's a few different things here. These are always general messages, so bear with me, but there's so many energies around you right now. But the first thing that I'm picking up to is Mother Gaia, and especially too, we have Diana too. We have the goddess Diana. So you've got a lot of goddess energy. You've got a lot of grounding energy to the earth. Now, there's several different reasons why you have this energy around you. First of all, the rise of the divine feminine, which you've been working on, certainly. But the other thing is the idea of birthing and motherhood. And we have moon energy too. A lot of you could be moon children, maybe Cancer, or have a lot of water in your chart. And night owls, and working with phases of the moon. And if you don't, you might want to look at your emotionality and check out phases of the moon and see if they correlate. That could be some beauty there for you. Also, the rituals of how you bring about power in your life. It's a very sort of tangible process. For those of you who have altars at your house, and you know, you have your crystals on there and your candles and things like that. And for those of you who are blessing your ancestors, you know, to have a physical kind of ritual every day for you would be quite important now. Don't go out of your comfort zone. Whatever doesn't feel right to you doesn't feel right. And there's no right or wrong way of doing anything. But Mother Gaia and looking after the earth and the mother energy is really very much coming in and just keeping you close, so we can ground your energy into the into the earth. You've been feeling a little like spacey lately. And that may have created a little bit of shakiness and a little bit of fear, because you've got a lot going on, definitely some transcendence moving into this portal. So that's why Mother Gaia is coming up right now. So the spirit world is coming in for you with Mother Gaia, and a lot of energies coming in, a lot of goddess energy coming in, a lot of power and magic. I feel as though Isis is coming in too. You have an immense amount of power. I felt that before we even got in to this pile 3. I think my last reading, when I did pile 3, the power before we even started sort of doing the reading, and I believe it was pile 3 too. I don't even know what's going on with pile 3s right now, but you guys have got it. So we've got the sun here, and we've got this major illumination. And also reflecting on the path. You guys are really definitely here to shine light on justice and move through it, and be a witness for justice and be a specific transformation for justice here. That's who you are to do. You will do this on a personal level, collective level, but on a community level. That's what you're here to do. So what I do feel for you is the connection to the earth, the connection to the mountains, the connection to animals, the connection to preserving the water, the connection to all of Mother Earth. And for what she stands for, at its most beautiful and sort of earth rendering form. That is who you stand for. You really do have this sort of goddess, like very, very calm. At least that's who you're moving into. If some of you are going, oh, that doesn't feel like me right now, I promise you it's coming. This very stable, earthy wisdom. You know what to say and when to say it. People will listen when you talk. You have a sense of articulation, which is connected to all generations all the way back. You're also excellent channelers yourself. So you can go back in time and come up with and channel the advice that you need at that moment for the person that you're speaking to. You can transcend all levels in order to get the truth out there. It's very, very powerful work, and that is exactly who you are moving into. Now, the dragon came up because you are affiliated with that dragon energy also, and that magical sense of who you are, but also because you've just burnt down all of the old and you've really moved in. Now, this is a general reading, so a lot of people I find are on different stages of this journey, but if you've picked up and resonate with this reading, you're on this journey. Which part of it you're on remains to be seen. But for those of you who have already burnt down the old and have physically moved in to the new, pile 1 and 2 were at various different stages, but we're absolutely ready to move through that portal. You've already moved through to the other side of it, or you're very close to. You're going to. It's inevitable. It's just a matter of when you say you're going to do it, right? So you also have this beautiful 3 of Wands card here. So there's a generational element to this. There's a negotiation with who you are. And that's how you're going to use your articulation in this lifetime to sort of negotiate, sometimes on behalf of people, sometimes on behalf of the light, on behalf of earth workers and light workers. But it won't be as obvious as that. You're here to definitely hold the light, but you're here to negotiate a new version of reality. And when I say negotiate, let's be really clear about that. Negotiate in a physical essence. You will be there as a front runner in many ways, sort of working within communities and building them up the way that they need to, with secured help, with the basis of humanity at its core. So you'll be working at an ethereal level and on a very physical level in this lifetime, in your lifetime, whether you're doing that or not, whether the lockdown, whether you were doing that before and you're moving that up to a much more beautiful level of the light worker within, or whether you haven't been able to do that because of lockdown and still trying to figure out what your next move is. That's going to be your dichotomy. There's going to be some of you that are out there in the community and some of you that are writers or are changing things globally from, some might say behind the curtain, but not really. You'll be influencing people on a huge level, but it's a negotiation of how you articulate and how you use your words. How you use your words is absolutely beautiful. You are natural speakers. People listen to you. Again, you channel the energy of your ancestors and of the ancients. You know exactly what to say, when to say it. Now, some of you may have gone backwards and forwards with this. You've maybe said things at the wrong time. You've been too harsh because you've been angry, or you've yelled at people. You've got your point across, but you may have had this balancing of not saying enough and then saying too much. But you've come into this absolute beautiful balance with Mother Nature and Gaia coming in and grounding you into this absolute wisdom. So your message is absolutely go for this version of self that you suspected for yourself, and you're ready to move forward with. And your entity, your spirit realm here is literally, you are the goddess of sorts. You're the goddess of this realm. You're the goddess of this lifetime, of this generation. So you have the magical energy behind you. You have the goddess energy behind you. You have the mother energy behind you, whether you're physical mothers or not. Whether you're male, identify as a male or female, you have the divine feminine energy behind you. Let's get some more rainbow blessings. Absolutely. You are here to make sure that every life is seen as equal. And you've had to break that down within yourself. There's been a lot of believing in yourself and figuring all of this out and renegotiating your power. I feel as though it's not just a case of, saying, oh, you were afraid of your power. There was a little bit more going on with you. You distributed your power to where you needed it, and now you're integrating it fully within your system so you can rise up. But your sense of justice will be that everybody in this lifetime is seen as they should be seen through the eyes of the Creator. It's absolutely brilliant and beautiful, wonderful, effortless. There's nothing that you can't do. If you're wondering how you do this, whether you're going to be the person being out in the community or using your words as a writer or as a creator, as a content creator or a creator, you could be, a balance of both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But whatever it is that you do in this lifetime will transcend how we have been before, and it will shed light, and it will be on a global essence of what you do. And again, coming into this brand new, beautiful energy, it will be so much more effortless than it has been before. I feel as though it's because you've been working with your power in a very systematic way, and using it. Now that you've integrated your power in a brand new way, and you are sort of leaning into this goddess creator energy that's absolutely gorgeous. This power and illumination that's coming out will really will illuminate your negotiations and will really illuminate your path of negotiating. Now, I don't want you to get hung up on the whole negotiating thing. It's your negotiation will come out of how it is that you articulate yourself. It's going to be a natural component of who you are and what you do. It will be effortless. You don't have to worry about how that will come about. So please don't overthink it. But bringing generations together, bringing the darkness into the light, and excuse me, and showing, illuminating the path for others, holding space for others as they illuminate on their own path and move toward their own version of who it is that they will become in this lifetime. So let's get some starseed messages for you today. Let's see what we have here first. Meditation. Take a moment to connect to source through quiet, reflective meditation. Yeah, that would be good for you too. I'm not shocked that came up for you, because not only meditating on the divine feminine, but again, leaning into, and I'm getting the word attaching. Do not be afraid here, or don't think twice about really leaning in and allowing this energy to infiltrate every aspect of yourself, because the energy of the goddess and the Gaia energy coming in with the mountains and the earth and everything that you need is actually this tree root energy that's going to really ground you into the ground. For those of you who are earthy, who have previously been quite grounded in the past, I feel as though you've not been grounded recently because you've been activated, been through so many portals and activated. There's so much for you going on with the empath and everything going on that's been difficult for you to ground. If you actually meditate and purposely connect to this energy, it will be extra energy weighing you down in a good way. It's not weighing you down to keep you in one place. It's weighing you down to get these roots growing into this lifetime that you have. To really understand what it is to be human, to be of this world, to be in this world, but not of it. And for those of you who have had, the sense of power and have worked with it systematically, but have held back from connecting properly to this world because it pained you to do it because too many people were hurting. This is how you ground into this new sense of self and this energy, ground into this lifetime with this new energy. And this source of illumination will come up for you. And then this beautiful articulation that you have, this beautiful power that you have, centuries old, will come in and illuminate this new path for you and others. So it's important for you to ground, not just ground in general, but ground and make roots, grow roots into your lifetime in a way that you never did before. So you can have a new sense of connection that you've never had before. And you chose not to do it. And that's fine. No one's saying that, there was a right or wrong way to do it. I totally understand. The world was hurting before, but that world is crumbling. And now you are literally stepping into what it is that you're supposed to do and why it is that you're here. So let's pick one more for you. Star Seeds. Oracle cards here. This one's calling to me. Oh yeah, this one's going to be good. Celebration. Celebrate your achievements. You truly are a gift to the universe. Absolutely. For those of you who have already put out your creative endeavors and they're coming back in beautiful ways through contracts or in ways that illuminate your voice and getting out there, please celebrate. For those of you who are ready to be on the path to really illuminate their voice and get out there in a collective way, please start celebrating. You have a unique, beautiful voice to rise up in this lifetime and give space to those who truly need you. We need each other. This is not a time to downplay yourself. You've already moved beyond the ego, so you don't have to worry about it. For those of you who took Pile 3, you know about narcissists. You've been around narcissists a good portion of your life. Some of you may even have grown up with them. So you're never going to become a narcissist. You're never going to work from the ego. And if you start to, you're going to check yourself real quick and come back. So please allow yourself. You don't allow yourself that celebration. You don't really allow yourself to the degree of saying, well done, well done. The more you do that, the more you celebrate yourself, the more you're going to feel in tune with your life and your life path, the more you're going to sink back into the earth and grow those roots and really illuminate your voice and go even further with this activation and who it is you're supposed to be in this lifetime. So this is a beautiful reading, Pile 3, very, very powerful. I hope this resonated with you. Do let me know in the comments below if it resonated. Always feel free to give me a thumbs up and do feel free to subscribe if you feel as though this is the energy, wisdom and clarity that you need in your life right now. Always happy to have you. I'm sending so much love and light to you, Pile 3. I'm very excited for your endeavors. Please stay safe and sane. And until we meet again, you take care. Bye-bye.